Hello, I'm Kyle Nelson. Today I'm going to talk about Section H, total cattle and calves. Section H is used to collect total cattle and calves on the total acres operated regardless of ownership. We also collect calf crop data for the first half of the year and calving intentions for the second half of the year. The information from this section will be used with data from the July cattle survey to provide estimates of total cattle inventory and calf crop for the July cattle report. Is the cattle box checked? This question is directed to you, the enumerator, and should not be asked to the respondent. This question is used to help determine if questions or sections of the questionnaire should be completed. If the cattle box in Section C is checked, ask all the questions that follow. If the box is not checked, skip to Section I. Section H must be completed or estimated for every agricultural tract that has a cattle box checked in Section C. If you are unable to complete this section, any notes from your observation or notes from personal knowledge would be greatly appreciated. The first item asks whether there were any cattle or calves on the entire farm or ranch. This question refers to all kinds and ages of cattle and calves on the total acres operated on June 1st, regardless of ownership. If cattle or calves were present anywhere on the operation, skip to item 2. If there were no cattle or calves on hand on June 1st, determine if there were any on the total acres operated at any time between January 1st and May 31st of the year, and use that information to answer question 1A. If cattle were on the operation earlier this year, skip to item 6 and collect information on calves born on the total acres operated between January 1st and May 31st. If no cattle or calves were on the total acres operated any time between January 1st and May 31st, ask 1A subpart I. Item 1A subpart I determines if the operation intends to have any cattle on the total acres operated before the end of the year. This information is used to select samples for future cattle surveys. Enter code 1, 2, or 3 representing the respondent's intentions to have cattle in the 493 code box. If you complete the questionnaire by observation because the respondent refuses or is inaccessible, and you don't see any cattle or have any knowledge of the operation, check Don't Know and enter 2 in the 493 code box. Items 2 and 3 deal with the number of cattle and calves on hand June 1st. This includes beef cows, milk cows, bulls, heifers, which includes beef replacement, milk replacement, and other, as well as steers and calves. You need to break out the total inventory into each of these categories. Most operations will know what they have, but some may not know exact numbers. Do your best to get their best numbers and verify that the boxes all add up to the total on hand. There are several different types of cattle operations. One of the main ones is a cow-calf operation. This operation normally has beef cows on the operation that have calves throughout the year. In addition to cows, they will probably have a few bulls, some replacement heifers, and calves. Some of the operations may also have a few other heifers and steers on the operation. Another type of operation is a stocker operation. So just what is a stocker operation? Normally it is an operation that has other heifers, steers, and possibly calves on some type of pasture. A lot of operations will run stockers on pasture for a few months to give them a good weight gain. The third type of operation is a feedlot. Feedlots are operations that feed the majority of their cattle a ration and send them directly to slaughter market. Include cattle being fed a beginning to full ration that includes grain, silage, hay, or protein supplements. Normally, these operations have cattle that are other heifers, steers, and calves. The fourth and final type of operation we will discuss is a dairy operation. The purpose of a dairy operation is to produce milk. Dairies will calve throughout the year to have a continuous supply of milk and cows. Most dairies have no need for their bull calves and sell them shortly after they are born. Make sure to include these in calves sold. In addition, some dairies have other operations raise their replacement heifers. For these operations, there will be few or zero replacement heifers and calves on hand, and we would expect calves sold or moved to be most or all of the calf crop. Other heifers, steers, and beef cows are generally not expected on a dairy. A small number of bulls in relation to the number of cows would be in line with most dairy operations, but 0 bulls would not be out of the ordinary because many dairies are using artificial insemination. Dairy heifer raising operations will usually have both heifers for milking replacement over 500 pounds and heifer calves under 500 pounds. Don't forget that any heifers expected to calve this year should have their calves recorded in the calf crop section, regardless of where they will give birth. These types account for the vast majority of cattle operations across the United States. Depending upon where you are located, there may be other types. Question 4 asks about cattle and calves on feed. This must be cattle and calves going directly to the slaughter market. They must be on a full ration, which would include grain, silage, hay, or protein supplements. If this number is very large, it needs to be confirmed that they are going directly to slaughter and they are not simply grazing on pasture or beginning ration. The final questions in the cattle section deal with the calf crop for the calendar year. In question 5, we ask how many cows and heifers are expected to calve during the last half of the year. The number of calves expected to be born during the second half of the year may vary depending upon the type of cattle operation you have. Beef operations generally have one calving season during the year, either spring or fall. Dairy operations will generally calve year-round, but you may have to probe to get the calf crop on a dairy operation, as dairy operations may sell off their male calves shortly after birth and forget to include them as part of their calf crop on the surveys. Then in question 6, we ask about the number of calves born. This number is broken up into a number on hand, the number moved off the operation or slaughtered, and the number that died, which excludes calves born dead. The total of these 3 items, which appears in question 7, will be the current calf crop for the period January 1st through May 31st. Finally, a few data relationships to consider. If the operation has beef cows or milk cows, there should be a calf crop accounted for in question 6. If an operator reports beef cows but does not report a calf crop, most likely those are either steers or heifers that were misreported, especially if they're reported as being on feed. Meanwhile, milk cows are constantly being bred, so if there are milk cows but no calf crop, then something isn't right. Calves on hand June 1st in question 6 should be consistent with calves reported in question 2. The total calf crop for the entire year, questions 5 and 7 combined, should be close to the number of cows in question 2. If the calf crop for the year is unusually large or small compared to the number of cows, please probe the operator for more information. In summary, the type of operation provides valuable cues on completing Section H. If something doesn't make sense, please probe and include good notes. This concludes Section H, Total Cattle and Calves. Thank you for watching.